Welcome back to the second hour of News Hour. It's about 4 minutes past the top of the hour. Thank you for staying with us. Tonight, as we said, it's your day as a citizen to speak about the finance bill. We want to hear from you. Everyone has spoken. The leaders have tried to sell this the much they can. We know the position that has been taken by the Kenya Kwanza government. They say they'll pass it without a single amendment. Now, on the other hand, Azimio One Kenya says the bill should be dropped. In fact, those are an ultimatum that was running in place to midnight today. In fact, that ultimatum was jumped, and now they've said Monday, they're saying the president has to hear the voice of the people. But is everyone speaking the same language as Azimio? We test the pulse of the country tonight by opening the phone lines for you so that you can join the conversation, and the numbers will be shortly on your screen. Let me try and find them on the phone. 0732 142 590 is the first number you can use to call us live. 0732 142 311. As we wait for you to grab your phone, let me introduce my guest tonight, starting with you. Tell us your name, what you do, and why you're on the table tonight. What side of the aisle you stand?
I'm Richard Litunya. I'm from Kajiado County. I'm a hustler.
You're a hustler?
A serious hustler.
Okay.
And I support the bill.
You support the Finance Bill 2023. Yes. Okay, Richard, we're coming to you. Another Richard tonight.
Good. Thank you very much, Mr. Ken Mijungu. My name is Richard Mawere. Yeah, I'm supporting the bill.
You support the bill?
Yes, I support.
Are you also a hustler?
Yeah, I'm a real hustler. I'm a real hustler. I am from Kitengela.
From Kitengela?
Yes,
Kajiado County,
yes.
Kajiado County. Very interesting. All right.
Good. My name's Innocent Obino from Kajiado County.
Also Kajiado County?
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Augustine Omondi, Nairobi County.
Nairobi County.
Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. We'll try and make space for a lady, the only lady tonight in the second half. But let's begin this discussion. First, the finance bill has been discussed broadly. I want to know from the outset your reasons for supporting and opposing. What sticks out in the bill for you, Richard?
Okay. Basing on the housing article, the one that speaks about the 3%, I try to analyze it and compare to my parents. And I tell myself, if my parents could have accepted such like bills to be when they were at my age, I think today I will not be struggling. Because maybe I would be owning some apartment, maybe from Kitengela, that government will have built it for me.
Okay.
Through my parents.
Okay.
But now I'm supporting it because I want my kids to enjoy my fruits in future.
You understand the finance bill proposes the 3% housing levy. Are you confident that they will provide a house for you in Kitengela?
I'm not confident with that, but where I stand, I believe it's one way of giving back to the community.
How is it giving back to the community when you support the housing levy? How will that give back to the aspect of handing over a house to your children is okay, but how is it giving back to the community?
There are people who are getting a lot of money, like for instance, someone who earns like $1 million shilling. Does that person need to be built a house by the government? No. But if at all you tell that person to at least give the 3% to the poor, will he do so?
Or an equivalent of 2,500?
Will he give to? He will not.
Okay.
So if at all the government can introduce something that can deduct the money from that rich person so that the poor can also be uplifted.
So the guy works hard to give you money. That's what you're saying essentially tonight. That's you work hard, get paid $1 million shillings, then give me your money. That's what you're saying tonight, Richard.
Okay, I'm not saying that someone works hard for him to be deducted money to be given the poor. What I'm just trying to reason out is we try to give back to the community.
Give back to the community. Richard, why do you stand on that side of the aisle?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ken Mijungu. You know, in this finance bill 2023, I'm happy with it because there are other things that are good on it, apart from others that the other side, the opposition side, are saying that will affect Kenyans. Like if you look at the Finance Bill 2023, you will get that there are a lot of things that have been removed from it. For example, we have the gas. The VAT on gas has been reduced. We have the VAT on import declaration fee has been removed. We also have the VAT on raw material has been removed.
Okay.
So I think this is the real deal for hustlers. This is what is meant for hustlers. Yes.
Per every item or per every levy or per every tax that has been removed, there is an argument that there's corresponding 3 or 4 others that have been added. The ultimate tax is greater than what has been removed. How do you counter that argument?
All these cracks are being brought by the Azimio side.
Azimio did not draft. Azimio has not drafted any finance bill.
Let me tell you, there is what on a public domain and the real deal. Have you read it yourself?
Obviously, that's why it sits on the table tonight.
So if you read it, the bills, the bills that have been removed, the deals that have been removed, are more good for hustlers than what is added.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Innocent, you are opposed to this bill.
Exactly.
What are your reasons?
Okay, number one, to me it looks like it's a big scam. Number one, I support that because you look at it, the housing levy, 3%. Probably I live in Kisii and I'm working there. I'll be deducted that money. How can I enjoy the benefit? I'm living, probably moving out to Kajiado. There are no housing units there. There's a primary teacher in the village there who needs a house. He can't have that one. And then the other thing that you're looking at, look at the way they put it in the digital bill on the content creativity. They want to tax the young people who are coming up in terms of their content and all that. It's not helping the hustler. We say the hustler means that we need to bring up the young people up. So they're bringing them down by taxing them. You see? All those kind of things. Look at it right now. There are people who don't need those houses. The people who are employed. People who are working already, the working class. The people who are supposed to be uplifted are the people who are now hustlers, who are renting and all that. These people can build their own houses. But to me, I don't support it 100%.
You don't support it, so you support it or you don't support it 100%?
I don't support it 100%.
The entirety of the bill?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
I
my
guess
point.
Then you're laughing.
Yeah.
What's the reason why you don't support this bill?
I think this is a bill that its time has not yet come. It's a bill that is time Kenya that we are as of now. Even the president himself knows that this bill, its time has not come. This is the reason why its time has not come, because very many proposals in that particular bill does not ease the lifestyle of a common mwananchi. They have just mentioned the issue of 3% levy. And you see, what we expect, as he has said, that he expects that this should be a giving back to the society. How is it a giving back to the society when the government is not telling us how people are going to benefit from this project? And another thing, the narratives have changed. It has changed from, it is now creating a payslip for those people who doesn't have a payslip. Exactly. It has now changed from now, we are going to move to urban areas and to leave our farmlands to farm. It does not meet the intended intention. And that can only mean that the government is not honest with this particular bill in terms of what they want to achieve. Because if it is true that the government really wants to achieve this particular agenda, let me say 3% housing levy, how are people going to benefit? How many houses are they going to build for all Kenyans to be able to benefit? If you look at the bill, it's saying, I think it's in section 75, I think from 75 it says that for those people who will qualify after 7 years, they'll be able to get houses. And for those people who will not qualify or who will retire before 7 years, option number one, they can give their investment back to the Retirement Benefit Authority, or they can give to another person who is in the housing benefit, or the money will be given back to them but be taxed. The question is, if the government is aware that you are at the end of 7 years, you are not going to get the house, why should we contribute now? What do they stand to achieve? How many houses are they going to build? Where is this money going? Who will we act after 7 years? Because in this country of ours, after 5 years, the government will go. That means that we are able to claim our money after 2 years after the election? What if this government does not come in power? Who will we go to and say that actually we contributed our money? Where did it go? So we are having a situation whereby the government is like having a good option, but with no proper plans in terms of the accountability. So if the government can come up with a proper accountability, it's very easy for Kenyans to hear. And again, number 3, it is at this time, it is very impossible to have such a bill because the life itself is very high. If you look at the high cost of living, even he's talk about the fuel levy, it has moved from 8 to 16%. A common mwananchi is not even able to feed himself. How are we telling him that now we are going to tax him? And
Okay. From the hustler's perspective, why do you think the government has introduced these taxes? Is it really that you're going to get a house, or what is the real reason for government introducing these additional taxes?
Okay, my understanding, our economy is in the ICU. And being that our economy is in the ICU, which is a problem that was not created with the current regime, was created by the former regime, the government needs to get out of it. We've seen countries that have faced the challenges that Kenya is facing today. Such challenges has been in Zambia. I think in 1970, Argentina was in the same situation. A country like Iceland was in the same situation. And by introducing these taxes, help those countries to get out of those situations. We can only reduce the cost
There's
of
no
living.
country that I remember that has prospered based on payment of taxes. The countries you're mentioning are countries that went to the red. I don't remember them prospering because of taxes, because there were additional taxes that were imposed.
Okay, my point is this. For us to get out of that situation, we need to get money. And where do governments get money? It is through taxation or by getting loans. Already, Kenya has borrowed a lot of money everywhere. We have debts all over the world. Where can we get the funds to do our things? Is by taxation.
Well, our current revenue collection, based on last year's collection, the last financial year was about 2.1 trillion. Why don't we budget within the 2.1 trillion instead of budgeting with 3. From your understanding as a mwananchi, why do we need, even in your own household, if you're earning 100,000 shillings, you will never budget for 500,000 shillings. You budget within your means. So why can't you, from your understanding, why can't we just work with what we can afford?
We can work with what we can afford, but another problem is our constitution. Our constitution enlarged our budget. In that, we have governors, we have MPs. You get an MCA working on the same plan of the MP. Like for instance, you get those small roads. You get an MP.
That's not true, because the expenditure in the county is about 400 billion. The recurrent expenditure for the government is 500 billion shillings. Recurrent, all the civil servants, about 500. That's about 9 billion shillings, 900 billion shillings. I mean, even if you remove 900 billion shillings, it can take you to the 3.6, from the 3.6. So that cannot be a justification. But let me talk to Richard.
Mr. Ken Mijune, the government has got around 3 goals to achieve on this. 1, create job opportunity. 1, to make additional revenue.
Okay.
Additional revenue. So on additional revenue, it will help us to fund our project independently without depending on other countries. So this one will help us achieve a lot of.
So job creation is key for the government.
Yeah, job creation is key. I remember, if you look at the UDA manifesto, I was there when the DP was launching the manifesto in
You mean the current president?
Yeah, the current president.
Yeah.
He was very clear on the job creation. So in this 3% levy, our brothers must know that this 3%, it is a saving. If you don't need the house, it's a saving for you. After 7 years, you will get it back. I don't see anything wrong with it. It will create a job opportunity for the youths. Our youths will get jobs. Yes, our youth will get jobs on it. In spite of youth getting job, we have suppliers. The guys who will be supplying the raw materials for the constructions, they will get the opportunities. So, and even the Mama Mboga.
Okay.
Yeah, like
okay. Augustine disagrees with you. The phone lines, I'm told, are now open. We need to hear from more of Kenyans speaking to this. The numbers are scrolling on your screen. If you want to call in, it's a good time now because we want to sample also a few of your comments. The Twitter poll continues because we're still holding that question. Do you support the Finance Bill 2023? We'll be sampling a few of them also, so you can call us in and contribute to this. This is a Citizens Forum, free to talk, free to express your mind on the Finance Bill, just like Augustine is about to do. He disagrees with you in terms of job creation. I mean, you are saying this is not the main aim. You're reading sinister, but he says that's one of the things that the government is looking at.
You see, this is what I'm saying is not a job creation, because we have three types of people who are unemployed in this country: people with skills, people with no skills, and people who came but with skills, but we can't absorb in the market. So if you are saying that it's going to create jobs, for example, the way the president was saying that the people with pay slip have denied people without pay slip through them not paying the 3% levy. How are you paying 3% levy? Will it create a pay slip for an undergraduate who is in the house? There is no it's going to create it's going to create a pay slip levy. In fact, that particular discussion is taking us to the other side. The other side of the people with no jobs will always see people who are going to work as the stumbling block to their success, because the reason why they are not working is because of the people who have refused to create to contribute the 3% levy. This is what I think. I think that for this government to create jobs for us, it must be able to lower down taxes so that common mwananchi or common Mama Mboga is able to do business. If today sugar is 425, Mama Mboga who is buying at 240 in August last year, what will happen? He will close. If the gas was 1,800, 13,000 kg, 1,300 kg gas was 1,800 in August last year, and now it's 3,000. What will happen? Mama Mboga will close. If mafuta cooking oil was 1,000, it's now it's 2,000. Mama Mboga will close. So even if this particular 3% levy is supposed to create job through, let me say, through Mujengo or something, but now if the cost of products to be used for Mama Mboga, maybe to buy unga to cook chapati is so high, Mama Mboga will not be able to do that business. So I think for the government to create jobs, it must lower taxes down for common mwananchi to be able to do business, but not to tax them. Because if you tax them, they will close down their business and we will have non-joblessness.
Mr. Ken, I want to disagree with this guy. Last year, we used to buy cooking oil, 1 liter at 460 shillings. Today, a liter of cooking oil is 250. These are the meal people. During that time, they were in handshake. When we are buying cooking oil at 460 shillings, they were telling us Russia are fighting. That's why the cost of living is high. Today, they're in the other side. The sugar is at 460, the way you just said. True? Why can't you also say Russians and Ukrainians are fighting?
No, right? It was
so when it is on your table,
it was 240.
It's something normal, but when it's not on your table, it's not normal. That's what you're trying to tell us.
Are you saying that you're comfortable with unga being at 460, whereas it was at 240?
You need to go to the farm and get food there.
What are you saying?
When people were planting maize, you guys were on the road.
You see, right now, if you go to the supermarket, we have Mumias Sugar labeled with the Mumias Sugar Company in the supermarket, but the Mumias Sugar is not working.
Okay, you've come well. When our senator of Kakamega County, former senator of Kakamega County, was opposing that company to be leased to the current person who's managing that company, did you oppose him?
No, we didn't.
All Azimio people opposed that guy.
You see,
Malala tried to tell us that this is not the right investor to take this company. We all opposed.
My question
is, the person you Azimio brought at Mumias is the same person now using the Mumias papers to package their own sugar.
You know, Mr. Ken, these Azimio people, especially the ODM people, they should stop. They should stop blackmailing the UDA government. You know, on the issue of job, let me start from where I left. The issue of job. The job creation, you know, people are going angry outside here. Youths are struggling outside here. And I'm still struggling to understand how my brother is saying that this 3%, this housing fund will not help to achieve this job creation. And they are reading from the same side with the Azimio leader Raila Odinga. They are reading from the same side because during the campaign, before the election, Raila Odinga was very clear that he will implement the 3% on housing. And I don't know what change that is now condemning the same. So I would urge our brothers from Azimio. I don't know why they are impatient with this government than even those who elected President Ruto like us. They should leave. In fact, they don't even mean good for Ruto at even one time. They should leave us to implement our bill, our finance bill 2023 that will help to achieve, will help the country to have a finance independency. So this one will help to achieve our programs. On the issue of Mumia Sugar, the Mumia Sugar is running. I don't know why our brother is saying that it's not running. Yeah? Yeah. So let's be realistic and support what's good for the country. This is the real deal for hustlers. This is the real deal for Mama Mboga, and Mama Mboga will really enjoy this one.
Okay, let me come in. What is the priority for the country at the moment? Look at it in terms of food, sugar, something we could afford, we can't afford right now. You want to tax people in terms of the housing levy. Housing right now is not a bigger priority to the community right now. The priority is food. Look at it. There are people who are having, they don't have dinners and everything in terms of they can't afford to buy. So we need to put our priority right. Yes, we support that bill. We support everything, but this is not the right time. We need to fix the economy first, fix where the problem is. We have been taxing. Look at it from Mombasa, there's a railway levy, there's levies all over. The imports and exports levies are all over. So what you need to do as a country, we need to fix the economy. The economy from Mwananchi, we say it bottom up. We fix the Mwananchi, wait, listen first. We fix the Mwananchi first. Food is affordable. Look at it, the fuel.
Okay, yeah. I'm coming back to you. Let's now speak to James Mwangi, who is from Ruiru. James, what is your contribution to the Finance Bill 2023 debate?
Hi, Ken. Hello. Hello.
James?
Yes, Ken.
James, if you can hear us, what is your contribution to the debate on the Finance Bill 2023?
I totally disagree with the Finance Bill. And it's high time Kenyans be realistic. And we approach Kenyan issues from a real point of view. One being that we kind of look at what caused this economy to fail. First of all, we have a very bloated economy, government, from the MCA to each and everything over there. What the Kenya Kwanza government is trying to do is to raise funds to run its issues, which is very wrong under the cover of housing. So they need to approach this from a real perspective. They should put away the issue of housing fund and levy. Let people get their homes the way they usually get from those plots in Kamulu, anywhere, 150, 200,000, and you are good to go and construct your house.
Okay.
Another real issue is about the food issue. The government needs to resize. And the moment we resize the government, we will put down the number of cartels, the number of corrupt officials, and so many loopholes where the government is losing money. If you can remember, the former president said we used to lose 2 billion each and every day. 2 billion each and every day. Imagine if that money is put into proper use.
Thank you. Thank you, James. And Agnes from the county of Migori. Agnes, what's your contribution to the debate tonight?
Okay, my contribution tonight is one. Hello? Yes, about the housing bill, You know, like now, I have 2 years to retire, and I'm paying for my loan at a very high rate, and yet somebody is telling me that I should be paying 3% of my salary to this housing bill, and yet I have my house which I'm paying a lot of loan to the bank. What is going to happen to my salary? And I'm not just one. So many people have done so because you need to have a good house for you to before you retire. Number two, everything is going up. There is this NHIF thing. Initially, we were paying 1,400, and when you go to even a hospital like Aga Khan, they can't take you in as a teacher. And now it is being increased. What is going to happen? What is the government saying about those who are retiring before 7 years? Where will their money go? And who is now going to be answerable? And then why is the president just pushing this thing down our throat that it has to be that way? I wish the government could be implementing one thing at a time. And lastly, I'm saying not all our children who are jobless, are hustlers. They are in the streets. They are builders. They are masons. They are what? Not everybody did the technical training. Some are professionals and they don't have jobs.
All right.
Is this bill now saying the president is explaining that we are going to give at least an employment to our children who are not working? What about those who did law?
Thank you, Agnes. Thank you, Agnes, from the county of Migori. Let's now cross over to speak to Kimutai, who's also joining us via phone. Kimutai, what's your contribution tonight on the final bill?
Hello, Mr. Mitungu. You're speaking with the Kimutai from Nakuru, and I support the 3% levy on housing, 100%. And on my side, I think Azimio is frustrating the economy, they're frustrating the government, and also they're frustrating the country at large. The 3% on housing will create employment for our youth. That's the truth. That's something that Azimio is not telling the country. And also, the 3% on levy on housing is going. Hello?
I can hear you, Kimutai.
The 3% on levy is going to create jobs for the people, mostly the youth that support Azimio, of which the Azimio know this, and they know that if the youth that they support them gets employed, they will lose their support base. Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Okay. Thank you, Kimutai, and we're still taking your phone calls. The numbers will be running on your screen shortly. So that is Agnes, Kimutai, and earlier caller also from right here in the cabinet, from Ruiru. I'm forgetting the name. But thank you so much for your contribution. We'll be coming for more, including the ones on social media. But I'm just wondering, gentlemen, tonight, everyone is measuring on the 3% housing levy. How comes that's where everyone seems to be measuring on? Well, let me begin with Innocent. Why is it that this is where everyone looks to be focusing on the 3%? Because there's so many things. There is the turnover tax of a hustler business, which is about 3%, 5%. Exactly. Excess duty on the wigs and weaves and all. Baby formula has a 16%. Motor vehicle has a 2,400 for motor vehicle. Passenger vehicles and 3,000 to 5,000 for the commercial. Yes. There's agriculture production, which seeks to reclassify agriculture. I mean, there's a lot of things here. Tax dispute appeals takes 20% as deposit before it begins with KRA, 15% withholding tax on media content influencers, like you said, 3% housing levy. I mean, there's a lot of things that we're picking. Why specifically are we picking the 3%?
You see, the 3% is it's affecting almost everybody.
Because people have to live in houses.
Exactly.
Okay.
Number one, the people, the employers who employ the ones who will be deducted the 3%. We actually depend on them 100%, because now they've employed people like house boys, house girls, the mjengo all over and everything. So that's why everybody is measuring on that, and it's a big thing because that's where they want to collect huge sums of money. How many people do you have employed in the country? It's almost like 300 or something. So if they tax that one, that's a big amount of money that the government wants to collect. And
it's about 9 billion.
9 billion.
Yeah, 9 billion annually.
Exactly. Yeah. So where will they take that money? To me, that's what I said early enough. It's not important at this time because we have to face the realities that the basic goods, the basic commodities in this country, the fuel, Nobody is addressing the issue of the fuel. In next week, if this bill passes, we'll have the issues of fuel. So,
16% increase in fuel.
Yes.
Yes.
And then there's also, understand, the human hair or something like that. That will also be factored in. So this bill, to me, it's not going to be viable for the economy of this country. Because we'll be taxing almost everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richard, I see you want to speak, but there's also a lot of feedback on social media. I like to read one from Boaz Kano. Boaz says, the issue here is how do we settle 1.2 trillion debt, 0.4 trillion county allocation, 0.7 trillion recurrent expenditure. That's about 700 billion recurrent expenditure, 400 billion to the counties, 900 billion pending infrastructure bills against 2 trillion taxes, and yet we still have to develop this country. And Nelson Denzel Kirui says, in supporting this bill, I was forced to look at my individual economic status when I have more pressing responsibilities. I don't borrow more. I start by cutting on my expenditure, loans and expenditure for our country. Look at our budget. We knew the next government would face it rough. That is pre-election. And the Bridge of Christ says, as a Kenyan, we are people who know what we are going through, not the government. I personally don't want the bill, but they are forcing and insisting about the bill as if they don't see people suffering. Masinde Wekesa says, I don't support it because even though those who drafted the bill can't substantiate what it contains and how beneficial it is to the common Mwananchi, Tumo here. And David Njoroge says, did you know that the cap favors the best paid? And I'm ready to pay if the government states that those whose 3% is less than 2,500 shall not pay. A brilliant idea from David Njoroge. Francis Akimai says, I do not support the bill. We are okay with our own houses. And Nechesa Suleiman says, we cannot continue contributing to the government and we are not seeing the returns. So service follow the money you pay. So let me go to Richard now.
You know, Mr. Ken, there are other things that the Azimio group are not telling the public.
How did this become political? How does the finance bill become political? I'll come to you, yes.
You know, this financial bill was first politicized by the Azimio side. Because the other day, when the issue was brought and the public participation is going on, instead of the Azimio side going before the Kuria Kimani's team to bring their views on this, they started politicizing everything. Why do you politicize something that you've not even read? So I want them to know. They should stop misleading the public. The house levy, apart from house levy, we also have other things good. The tax has been removed, the VAT has been removed on the value-added products like the tea. It has been removed. Why are they not talking about it? The value-added tax has been removed on imports, the raw materials, the vaccine. They're not talking about the gas. The VAT on the gas has been removed, and they're not talking about it. So I don't know why they are finding it difficult only to see it on the house levy and on the house levy. And remember, this house levy, you don't need to get the house. If you don't need the house, your money will be returned back to you.
The big question is, Agnes from Migori asked this.
Yes.
She has 3 years to retire.
Yes.
You'd want to tell her to contribute for 3 years. It's insufficient. It's insufficient. And then you're telling her to wait for another 7 years to redeem it. What would you tell Agnes tonight?
That's why, Agnes, with the remaining days for you to retire, your money will have interest. So on interest, you will get your money back. Because we trust, you will have interest on it. Yeah, like
why don't you specify the interest?
The PS for housing explained the other day on State House that you will have your interest. Yes, if you don't need the house.
You see,
yeah.
I feel so bad.
It is a saving.
I feel this is the reason.
One thing you must know that this is a saving. If you don't need the house, it's a saving for you.
Why do you force people to save?
You know, on the saving, when they are saving, other people are also getting job opportunity. Why are you not happy when other people are getting job opportunity?
So when
hustlers are hanging around. Yes.
Okay.
The reason why I feel so bad is this. because it seems that Richard has not read this bill. Because this bill has 4 options for those people who will not get the house. 1, you give it to Retirement Benefits Authority. 2, you give it to a person who is in the housing fund. 3, you give it to a spouse or somebody who to benefit. Or 4, it's given back to you, but it will be taxed as per the tax rate by that time. So when it is being taxed, where is the interest coming in? Agnes has asked a very good question. How is this thing going to help him? And you also ask a question, why the 3% levy? Why are people not going through other things, like they're being said that if you have a car, every city will pay 100 shillings per month. People are not going to such things, and they are very serious things. I think people are focusing on this house levy because even our president himself he's forcing to our throats the housing levy.
Okay.
So I think, just to finish, Ken Mijogu, I think it is the trust that people does not have with this government, with their money, and it is the responsibility. It's the responsibility. Remember, the last outgoing government that left the other time, they build houses. They build houses in Ghana. They build houses in Mombasa. They've been building houses for people, right?
Okay.
Right?
I'm coming to you, gentlemen. I don't want to keep these individuals also on phone. George is joining us from Kuresoi. George, good evening. From Kisumu, sorry, George from Kisumu. What is your contribution tonight to the Finance Bill 2023?
Mijungu, thank you. I'm George from Kisumu. And in my contribution to the topic,
George, proceed.
I'm getting you. My contribution to the topic is that this government is trying to blackmail us, because I remember during the campaign period, the government told us this time around the government is going to be for the hustlers, and our life gonna change through their leadership. And we were told that this finance bill, if I look at it, we are being told that they are going to uplift our life through this housing, and every hustler will now have their house. Yes, that is a good idea, but not seeing they are now increasing the production, because the house might be cheap, then fuel will be high, cost of living will be high. Don't you see? If you, I'm a producer or I work in the quarry, then the cost of transport is high because of the fuel and because of materials that we use. How is the house going to be affordable?
Okay.
May these people please, supporting the government tell us how will the house be affordable? Yet the other side, fuel is high and another cost of production.
Okay, thank you, George Onyango from Kisumu. Let's cross over now to Kuresoi, where Ruben is also joining us on phone. Ruben, your contribution?
Okay, naitwa Ruben Korir kutoka Kuresoi South. Kwangu kabisa naomba kwanza nitumie lugha yetu ya taifa ili niweze kufafanua kwa upana. Kwangu kabisa naiunga mkono 100% hii bili, kwa kuwa hii yetu haiwezi kubadilishwa na kuendeshwa kwa njia bora bila pesa ama bila hela. Kila mtu anajua kwamba hii nchi kabisa ilitolewa vile mmoja wetu hapo alikuwa ameshaongea kwamba hii nchi yetu ilikuwa imefikia wakati wa IPI ambapo tunakubali wote. Hasa naomba tu wale viongozi kutoka serikalini na wale wa upinzani waungane pamoja ili tuweze kabisa kutumika pamoja na tubadilishe nchi. Pili, naomba kabisa hii Kenya yetu vile tunapojua kila mara kwamba ikiwa wale ambao wanafanya kazi, wafanyikazi wote, maombi yangu ningeomba uongezewe salary, alafu hii ambayo inaendelea kukatwa sasa ndio itakuwa sasa pesa ambazo zinaweza kusaidia wale ambao hawana kazi. Unaweza pata wale, nikimalizia, unaweza pata wale hawana kazi wanalalamika, na hii pesa ndio wasaidia hawa. Sasa ndio nilikuwa nasema tu, maoni yangu tu ya mwisho ni kwamba yenyewe serikali kweli wangetoa kwanza maoni ili maelezo hii ipate kuelezwa kwa njia iliyo bora. Kwa watu machache
asante sana. We have one more caller from Nairobi. Thank you so much, Ruben from Kuresoi. Let's take this one caller from Nairobi. This is Dinesh. Dinesh, your contribution tonight? Dinesh Hirani, if you can hear us. Dinesh, all right. All right, Dinesh.
Yeah. Okay. Now, regarding the finance bill, all the tax shields that are there, I heard one of the panelists talking about VAT being scrapped off on certain products and all that. If you look at it in totality, for the last 8 years, we have had this issue about the last 2 years rather, VAT on pharmaceutical. Surely, this is one country where we had VAT on pharmaceutical. Now the VAT became exempt. So your input becomes your cost in total. So things become expensive for the normal Kenyans. Do we really need 50 CASs in a government? I really don't think so, because that's like an assistant to an assistant. We talked about LPG gas. That was supposed to be subsidized or zero rated, but then the other day I heard the president say it's the gas cylinders that will be exempt or subsidized. I don't know whether Kenyans will use gas cylinders to cook food on their table. Yeah, thank you.
Dinesh, I mean, it's a mixed bag of feelings for this finance bill. But I want to ask you, gentlemen on the table, specific questions on this. If you look across the board, everyone, Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, you will be affected by this bill, right? It's not anyone. So why must there be such a debate on something that will cut across?
I think it is what people, you see, what this government promised these people, the Kenyans, and now what's happening now. Kenyans expected that after this government come into place, life will be more bearable to them. But now you see the way things are going, taxes are going high, high cost of living is high, every basic commodities are no longer basic commodities. So people are saying, it is okay, you can tax us, we have no problem, because it is us to carry our economy. But before you tax us, kindly lower these taxes so that we can be able to do business, so that we get money for you to pay. So if the government is adding more taxes to already injured economy, it means even the employers are going to lay off.
Okay.
Yes.
Richard.
You know, Mr. Ken Mijuma, these guys who are telling the president to reduce the tax are the same people who will be complaining about the government in 2027, because they are eyeing the seat in 2027. But I want to be sincere with him, that instead of talking about too much negativity about the bill, they should also look at the positive side. Like, we have things that have been removed. We have other items that have been removed from the VAT. They should also talk about that one. They should talk about the job. Remember when the president, then the deputy president, was campaigning, he was very clear on the job opportunity. How will he create the job opportunity? He explained very well how he will create job opportunity. He was very clear on the house levy. He was very clear. He was very clear on the regional development. And this is where will we get the funds?
Okay.
Because the other regimes, borrowed borrowed a lot, in that we can't continue with the culture of borrowing. We need to source our own funds as a country. Yes.
Okay.
Let me take this. I'll tell you, we are struggling. I come from where the EPZs are closing down. People cannot afford to actually pay the wage bill, the basic wage bill. Companies are closing down. People are leaving because of one thing. We are not going to have consensus. All these bills you're talking about, they're all good. If you have consensus, come together and say, this is good for the Mwananchi, this is bad for the Mwananchi. We'll all come to consensus and agree. You cannot force everything to us. What you mean is, we need to have a way that we can fix this economy in a very fast way, because the economy is going down. Okay. The economy is down. And the only way the Kenya Kwanza team can fix the economy is by overtaxing. The
taxing has never fixed an economy.
No, what I'm saying, the housing levy tax, that's how they'll fix it. Because you say it early enough, they'll raise like nine something billion.
Just on that.
On that.
Just on the 3%.
Yes. So that they're doing a quick fix. They're not looking at it in terms of long term. They're investors here.
If you were, if Azimio hypothetically, had proposed this finance bill, would you have supported it?
I could have looked at it in a different angle. Let's be honest on this. Yeah, let's be honest.
Your principle is entrenched to the fact that it's Kenya Kwanza.
No, it's not Kenya Kwanza. Look at it right now. I don't mean by Kenya Kwanza. That's double standard. I don't mean by it's because of Kenya Kwanza and all that. What I'll have done is, I could have called everybody on consensus. We agree. Is this workable? Which formula can we use on this? You look at it. The way they are doing it, the Kenya Kwanza guys, They're forcing on us. They're not even giving us.
What if they came and spoke to you? Would it be different?
Exactly. That's another good question.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Richard.
Mr. Ken, this bill is going to cut across. I agree. Why do I support it even if it is going to cut across? I don't want to look like a drunkard person who will see responsibility in the house and choose to stay all time drunk. So that whenever the kids see him, they see a drunkard person. Instead of asking the guy school fees, they run to the bed. Instead of asking the guy who want food, they run to the bed when they hear his voice. What does Mio side wants is that kind of government that will keep on postponing their problems. I remember this 16% levy on fuel was there back in 2018, if I'm not wrong. But it was postponed. Why? These guys, they like using the difficulty of the economy to get votes from Kenyans. For instance, today, they are telling Kenyans, President should lower food, the cost of living. When they know very well, when the government was to invest in food production, they were dumping reggae. Nobody was to stop that reggae. So, these Azimio guys are totally unfair to themselves. President Uhuru spoke to the same bill, the 3%, when he was being asked question about the bill. I don't know if you can be having the clip on what he said. He said it's not a tax. I don't know if you have that clip. You play so that Kenyans can know that whatever is being opposed today was there even before William Ruto was the president. The problem with this Azimio guys, no, William Ruto is a performer. William Ruto has been in the Ministry of Agriculture. When William Ruto was the Minister of Agriculture, Kenyans had a lot of food. He was moved from that ministry to the Minister of Higher Education. Their thinking was, higher education has little people, don't have many people. So they thought by putting in that ministry, they will have put him under the table. Okay. But William Ruto came up with another idea. That you do your form for this year, you join university the same year. But before, it's only the son of the poor who could stay for 2 years before he joins the university.
You see, that's history now. Let's deal with what we have current, the situation that we are in. You see, like my take in this, we don't have a problem for paying these levies and all that. We don't have a problem for fixing this economy. All they're saying is okay. But why don't they tax even 1%? Where people can tax and put mechanism in place where you know your money is safe. They'll tell you like after 7 to 10 years, they'll give you an interest rate. What interest rate will they give you? 20, 10?
Can I ask a question, my
For your saving?
Can I ask a question, my brother?
Yes.
We had 12 billions that were used to dance reggae. Do you know where the money was acquired from?
I have no idea. You let me know, please.
If I'm not wrong, the money was borrowed. It's part of the money that we need to pay. Yeah? So when you are enjoying that money as you done the reggae, did you ask yourself questions?
Maybe I think, maybe you see, the problem with us Kenyans is that we are having a very serious issue of tax bill, but what we are doing as Kenyans, we are taking sides in terms of political parties. For example, me, I'm not for Azimio, right? And I'm not for Kenya. I'm not for Kenya Kwanza. I'm just a normal independent Kenyans who will be affected by these particular laws. So you see what the politicians told us when they wanted these seats. They didn't tell us they will tax us. They told us they're going to find a way on how to create job opportunities. Creating job opportunities is not by taxing another employed person. it's the work of the government to put better policies in place and to lower taxes for a common mwananchi to be able to do business and to create employment.
Okay.
But when the government is taxing another Kenyan to create a job opportunity for another Kenyan, it means the employer of that particular Kenyan, you will not be able to employ that particular Kenyan. That particular Kenyan tomorrow will be unemployed to depend on another particular Kenyan to be. So if that is the circle, it means that tomorrow all of us are going to be unemployed in the name of other people are supposed to be taxed to pay us. I think Ken Mijung, I think the government should provide a very favorable working environment for us Kenyans so that we can be able to create jobs. For example, the government is going to after content creators. What is the government investing in them for them to be taxed? The government is going for your car so that you can pay 100 per month per seat. What is the government putting in? The government is going for even chama money. The government is going for even chama money for tax. Welfare. What are they investing there to be get? So I think the government should tax us less to enable us to do business so that we can be able to pay taxes and raise this economy to the level that they want.
You know,
before you wind
the
up,
Hustler Fund.
Where is it? Where is it?
When the government introduced the Hustler Fund, what did you people do?
Where is the Hustler Fund?
You went for the money and
refused to pay.
Refused to pay back.
Where do you pay from? You don't have the money.
You know, Mr. Mijungu, the first
change your life. It didn't.
You know, Mr. Mijungu, what we must agree on is that this economy that we are now facing now was ruined by the handshake people.
Government.
Because they stole everything stored on offshore account.
No.
They ruined this economy. In fact, they even went ahead to exempt themselves from paying tax. Even their friends.
We have a pandemic.
Exempt their friends.
We have a pandemic.
What you're saying tonight is something you can't qualify that is told as political talk.
No, that's a political talk.
Are you saying that now
was a pandemic?
So, are you saying that now we should
for us to recover from this mess,
yes,
we don't have any option apart from paying tax.
Apart from paying tax.
This mess that was created by the BBI team.
We have about 5 minutes on the clock. So I'd like to play the video of the week. After the video of the week, we'll come back and give final remarks. Then we can look at what the social media are saying about the topic tonight. Let's take the video of the week. All right, I'm told the video of the week is not available, but I wish it was. But let's take a look at some of your comments online, because we asked you Twitter question earlier on if you support the finance bill or not, Finance Bill 2023. So I've read quite a number, but I'll still read. James Mwandago says, yes, I support the bill, but with amendments to avoid overburdening the taxpayers. Francis Akamai says, I don't support the bill. We're okay with our own houses. Papa Mark Makunda says, I am watching my MP very closely. And Makunda still says, tomorrow we celebrate Madaraka Day. We say we have obtained self-rule, yet the Bretton Woods institutions have still attached to Kenya to obtain foreign aid. Daisy says no with no reason. And Nanok Cobbs Magira Jacob says it's punitive and the housing levy is not well explained. I reject from Meru. The Bride of Christ says, as Kenyan, we are the people who know what we are going through, not the government. I personally don't want, but they are forcing and insisting the bill as if they don't know people are suffering. Papa Mark again says, it's ambitious having such a bill in Kenya. Why would one come up with a bill that affects the day-to-day livelihood of the common people? It beats my understanding, yet they claim to be associated with people at the lower end. Bernard Muita Bosire says, we are totally disappointed by the government. Don Sabo says, we need to stabilize the consumption so that we have the drivers factors of production. Kenya cannot be a moral-based economy. I read that earlier. Isaac Wabukala says, I'm Isaac Wabukala from Bungoma. No to the bill. We have so much on our hands now. Shitaka Mike, sauti ya watu ni sauti ya Mungu. A big no to the bill. Nechesa Suleiman, we cannot continue contributing to the government and we are not seeing the returns. Miyogo Wycliffe, I do not support this due to it's unexplained. It's unexplainable. Even the owners can't explain it. Really, how can we wait for 2027 to get the houses? I don't know how he calculated that. It's quite unfortunate. Even the government isn't factual. Remember, it will only create jobs for the next 5 years. Then it will succumb. And those who are saying yes, no, I'll not read that. No government. All right. So, gentlemen, I'll give you a minute each to close. Very interesting comments on Twitter. I think it's dividing the house across the aisle, the same way you're divided here. So let me begin with you, Richard, like that, as we close the show. So your final remarks in 30 seconds, why you think this bill should pass without a single amendment.
Mr. Ken, thank you for this chance again. The reason why I say that this bill should be passed without any amendment is because we want to pay the tax so that we relieve ourselves from the debts that our former regime borrowed from across the world.
Richard, Kenyans, this bill is meant for you. This is what is good for you. To my fellow hustlers, this bill is extraordinary good for you. For our MPs in the parliament, please, I urge you to pass this bill without removing even a single comma as it is, because we trust President Ruto with this process and the Honorable Gachagua.
I say no to this bill because to me, it's not well calculated, it's not well organized at this time. So we need to consult. The economy is bad, we accept, but we need to fix one or two things. But 100% we say no to the bill. Thank you.
100% you say no to the bill. And finally, Augustine.
Kenyans, is the work of the government to create employment through workable conditions, not through taxing you. So if, for my MP, if you vote for this bill, you are out 2027. For Mr. President, kindly note that this is not a priority as of now. Drop it, focus on how you can improve the livelihood of Kenyans. And if for tomorrow, when you are giving on the holiday tomorrow, kindly don't give us a promise, give us a solution. We are tired of promises, it's time to find solution.
Augustine, Innocent, Richard. Tonight, but we really appreciate this public participation. To Twitter to answer our Twitter poll question today. It's overwhelming. We can't read all of them, but we want to say thank you. We'll have another opportunity to do this again before the 15th. So thank you so much for coming. But as they leave, let's Sharing Farm, that's Yego, has started its
We have been looking at the taxi market now since 2019, and when we wanted to come in here, actually it was 2020, but COVID came in and we had to delay. But we came, I was here in fact in December of last year, and we spoke to a lot of the taxi drivers here, and they had the same challenges that were there in Nairobi and also in all the other counties. So we felt that it was about time that we should come to Mombasa and we should offer them an alternative to the other app companies that have been operating. We feel that the taxi drivers have had a very raw deal so far, and by us coming here as a company that's very, very clear about being an ethical, sustainable business model that has got a balanced view for both passengers as well as for drivers.
We apologize for that, but that story is about the Rwandese digital ride-sharing firm, Yego, that has begun its operation in Mombasa. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow is holiday, but we are working. And thank you so much for watching News Hour this week. Next week, another great conversation right here with great people of Kenya, adding their voice to issues that affect us here. My name is Ken Mijungu. On behalf of the whole team, my guests here tonight, everyone who found time to call and share their opinion online, and Maresha Witia earlier on sign language. I want to say thank you for watching. Have a good night. God bless. We do this whenever we have an opportunity to do it again. Good night.